We call it the 2x4 banjo, and this was a piece of 2x4 that was out of construction that we just pulled out. In fact, you can see here there's 2 nail holes still in it. Those 2 there.
Wow.
And we just made it out of a 2x4. This was another 2x4, but it was a Douglas fir 2x4. That's why it looks a different color. And
I noticed they're all glued together and finished in a circle on the outside.
Cut the right angles, and we glued it. And then the top is again made out of a 2x4, and according to Charlie the lumberman, it's hemlock.
Wow.
All I know, it was nicely quarter sawn, but they were only 2-inch pieces. So we made 5. We glued 5 pieces together, sanded it to the right thickness, and then cut it out and glued it on.
And you were telling me earlier that you're gonna maybe be experimenting with different tops.
Different tops, and
maybe putting them back,
and even different woods, because we have some availability of some hardwoods like maple and mahogany, and some other exotic woods that we might be able to build it out of. I don't know if it'll make it sound any better or what, but usually wood makes changes in the way it sounds.
And possibly making, you had mentioned maybe a resonator, trying a model.
Well, I've been thinking about it because, and it's the same with regular open back banjos, all the sound comes out of the back. And if you ever notice, lots of times open back players will do this to let the sound come out. Now they do make resonators, and they make special things that hold it off your body to let the sound get out. But on the back side, there's a lot of sound coming out of it.
Yeah, there is.
That doesn't come out of the top.
It's
so
definitely louder sitting here when
we're
you
going
do
to experiment with some things.
And this is a full scale.
Yeah, full size banjo.
Regular size neck. And,
yep. And a Gibson scale. So
explain what you did with the your homemade design tailpiece there.
If we didn't do this, the strings would pull through the soft spruce or hemlock, whatever it is, a fir. It would just go through it like a knife. So I had some old ebony fingerboard cutoffs, and I just took a piece of it because it's a hard wood, and I glued it in, chiseled all this out, and then glued it in so the strings won't dig into it. And then these are from a model airplane store. They're 440 half-inch Allen heads, but they hold the strings really well. And actually, some of the regular tailpieces use this style of thing to hold the strings to the tailpiece. But
it's a great design.
But it all so far is working.
And I can see why.
This is the first day this has been together with strings on it. It's only been a few hours.
And we played a few songs together.
Yeah, I got to work on getting the action a little lower. There's a few things I got to do, but.
Regarding the top, and you had mentioned before that there were six 2x4s
right.
that you had.
Right there.
You can see the.
You can see the lines.
Yep.
Normally, if this was like a guitar, it would be 2 pieces, but we wanted to make it all out of a 2x4, and we didn't have a piece big enough that was good enough for a top. And this would be, if this was solid, this would be a beautiful top for a guitar. It's got a lot of sound to it.
And speaking of that, you're going to be finishing it at some point, right? Putting a
finish on it.
finish
Yeah, we're
on
going to put a finish on it. In fact, I'm already making it dirty from the oils from my arm. But we'll be taking it apart after we get it adjusted, sand it, and then put a finish on it of some sort. We don't know yet. Might be lacquer. It might be anything.
Wow. It really is a beautiful banjo, and it's a great concept.
And then the other thing, the fingerboard is walnut, and my friend Mark that helped me build this, he does woodworking on different stuff, not instruments. But he had a pile of walnut flooring that a house had flooded, and he got a real good deal on all the flooring pieces. Well, when we're thinking of a fingerboard, he goes, well, let's try the walnut. And we ran it through his planer and sanded it and cut it, and I cut the slots in it. And even the peg head veneer is from that same piece of walnut. I've still got to make the truss rod cover. And
it's kind of neat the way the grain almost looks symmetrical on the peg head too.
And that was just from the flooring. We didn't do anything special to it other than make it thinner. And we recycled that wood too. Actually, when you think about it, all of this wood is recycled wood. It's which is sort of neat too. I enjoy
It's very neat.
recycling wood or repurposing wood instead of just throwing it in the garbage.
Yeah.